All right. Welcome everyone. Welcome to this session. We'll call it Career Audit Consultation. It's an informal place to discuss the issues we have talked at the workshop last week. It's a place to ask questions. It's a place to make contribution. It's a place to seek advice. It's a place to give advice. Yeah, it's a place for all of us to support ourselves. So we have 2 hours, and I hope you have come with something to add to the discussion. So relax. I believe that it's going to be a rewarding time together. Okay, so following our plan for the career talks, the 3rd edition we have had, we talked about beyond the foundation, framing the structures. That was what we discussed last week. So what I plan to do now is to highlight the key issues we looked at last week. And then after that, I will send you out to breakout sessions where I would like you to reflect on the issues. Reflect it within your group as it concerns you, as it has been highlighted in your own experience, or as you would want it to be going forward in the future. And then we will come back. We'll come back to the main session, and then we are going to discuss together some of the issues you have raised, some of the concerns we have brought up, and then the room will be open to discussion, and then we can add to it. All right. So that is what I plan today. Okay. So we'll have 2 hours, and let's utilize it judiciously. We don't use everything. Yeah, it's good. If we use everything, it's also good. Okay, so some thoughts from the workshop we had last week. So the first stage of the career growth or development we have talked about is building a solid foundation. And this is very crucial. The foundation is very crucial. And I have always told people that a doctoral degree is a foundational degree for a scientist. It's a degree to launch you into research, scientific excellence, which means it's a degree to begin with. Even though the attitude we have often these days is sometimes when you have a doctoral degree, it appears that you have arrived, but that is not the case. That's not the case. All right. So yeah, appear you say foundational degree. it's important to have a very good foundation. Many people have been disappointed with their career development because of lack of a solid foundation. Maybe foundation in skill, maybe foundation in attitude, maybe foundation in your hunger, it may be foundation in your knowledge. So when those foundations are not solid, they can affect what happens in that journey. Yeah. But we also need to move from the foundation. Like I say here, the foundation is not equal to a house. What we want to do is to build that house. That house that can be a joy, that can be a shelter, that can be a place you can achieve different goals. But the foundation, not a house. It is only part of the house, which means that no matter how solid your foundation is, the building of the house has not stopped there, because it will really serve no purpose except for occupying space. Except for occupying space. And if that foundation is there for some time, let's say you give it 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, well, depending on where it is. If it's in a very busy city, you begin to see people coming to ask, is it for sale? Is that place for sale? Like to buy. So foundation is not a house. The implication of this for career is that you don't stop at the foundation. Oh, I went to Harvard University. I went to Oxford. I went to this. Well, okay. Okay. So that is not sufficient. In fact, it can't be sufficient. All right. There is a time we used to say, who you know matters. Okay. Nowadays, in the world, is also what you know. What you know. And we are moving away from what you know to also what you can do. Yeah. Yeah, I talked about that last week, and I will mention it. So you need to go beyond the foundation. Another thing I mentioned last week was that the work of the foundation is to lift, is to sustain, and provide stability to the structures of the house. So there are structures that need to go on the foundation, and the foundation lift those structures, will sustain them, and provide stability. Okay? And so you have to have a structure to put on the foundation. You have to have a structure to put on the foundation. That is what we talked about last week. That is what we are talking about today. The other thing I mentioned is that despite its significance, the significance of the foundation, it is not the foundation that makes people admire the house. It is not the foundation. It is the structures that give that impression. Okay. Well, you see the picture there. When you say this house is beautiful, it's nice, and it is. It is not because of the foundation. It is because of the structure. Yeah. And finally, I said, once the structures are set, the foundation often ceases to be seen. It is structures that are visible. And I hope you are putting this into context really, because when you begin to I've mentioned many times, I have the first class, I had this, I had that. When people begin to say that, they don't really understand the way the world works nowadays. And that is even for me when I recruit people to my group. It is not their first class that that matters to me. In fact, I wouldn't go and start checking what grade they had in what and what. No, that is not important. I need people who have experiences, who have skills. And that is what other people also want. Right? So the implication of this is relying just on the foundation may eventually be disappointing. There is need to go beyond the foundation. Despite how important the foundation is, once it is set and the building is completed, the foundation often ceases to be seen. What people begin to see are the structure. Yeah. And that goes to academic career you want to build. All right. So a time comes when people cease to see that you had first class. You went to Harvard. You went to Oxford. One of my PhD students defended his thesis 2 days ago, and the opponent that came from the UK did his master's in Oxford, did his PhD in Oxford, worked in Oxford for some time, and then moved to Edinburgh. And so, as he came, we had a seminar in honor of the opponent, and the day before, and this professor came and said, "Oh, I read, I can recognize your face because I read your profile online, and I see that you went to Oxford. That's wonderful, prestigious university. That's wonderful. Yeah, okay, okay, yeah. But that stops far as what he is doing today, as far as the value he's adding today. That will make sense. But if he goes out there, and he begins to underperform, it is what he does today that is important than what he did, where he went to. Right? So a time comes when people don't see the Oxford anymore. It is what you do. Okay. So last week then we went forward to look at different components of a house, the different structures that are there in a house, even inside the house, different structures that are there. Okay. And then one thing we mentioned is that structures of houses are not universal. This is an important um, knowledge to have. This is an important knowledge to have. In this part of the world where you are in the northern hemisphere, the buildings are different. The purposes of each structure of the building is different from what it is in other places. All right. For instance, it's not common, it's very, very uncommon that you see people put AC, air condition in their houses. All right. Rather, what you see is the heater in the houses. Because the summertime is not that very hot. All right. But the winter time can be extremely cold. Can be extremely cold that you need to warm your house to live happily in it. But if you come to Africa, if you carry the house from here and to Africa, your life will be frustrating. Because here, even the windows, the doors are so insulated from noise, insulated from cold, insulated, and yeah, it has ventilation anyway. Okay? But if you move down to Africa, you wouldn't have such level of closure, insulation, because it is hot. The point here is that career structures are context specific to a great extent. All right. You may have the style, we have windows here, you have windows there, you have doors there, you have the sofas, you have yeah. But the content, the component, the makeup of those items now differ. Have to adhere to the texture of the environment. Okay? So it means, because I've often heard this, sometimes I speak with my friends, my old friends, oh, yours is good, oh, you are abroad there, you are, yeah. But you see, the journey here is not exactly the way it is there. The ingredients of my own journey, the packages I carry, it are not exactly what you have there. So I need to contextualize my journey, and you need to contextualize your own journey for you to enjoy your journey, for you to find meaning in your journey. Okay? And that is why in the end, the houses may appear in different ways, different forms. All right. So I mentioned some of those last week. Like in a house, components and ingredients you add to your career foundation that make it thrive, grow, and beautify. That is the career structure. And I mentioned structures of experiences, structures of attitudes, structures of skills, structures of principles. I'm from Nigeria, and this discussion has happened many times. Why is it that our graduates, university graduates, are are not attractive to employment in many sectors? Right? Many sectors that require technical skills. Why? because many times we are too theoretical. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. When I was many years back, I was studying in Finland, and then this professor came and said, "Oh, you're from Nigeria." One of the things we have noticed about Africans is that theoretically they are very good, but when you take them to the practical things, to the lab, and we begin to wonder why can't they translate the knowledge to, yeah, well, that is an aspect of the context I was talking about. That doesn't mean that you can do. Experience matters so much and matters so much in the world we are today. Experience matters. What do you know? What can you do? What have you done? What you do, what you know, is it commensurate with your qualification? And I mentioned a guy who was recruited by one of my colleagues where he goes to the lab. He was recruited to do wet lab work, and then he doesn't go during the week. During the weekend he goes with his wife, until they investigate to find out that it was actually the wife who was doing the experiments. To nurture a career that you will be happy with, is competitive, and thrive, you need to have that experience, both knowledge and skills, practical experiences. Attitudes, all right, attitude, and I mentioned it last week as well. Attitude is very important. We have talked about that a lot. The attitude you bring, the value you add to the work, it can determine a lot. Don't be employed by pity. Don't be employed by emotions. Be employed because there's something you bring. Nobody is indispensable. Anybody is dispensable. Okay? But there are those that when they leave a place, their absence is felt. And there are those when they leave a place, there is joy around. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. You understand that? There are those who go about sharing flowers, and there are those who go about adding values. Attitudes, very important. Skills, soft skills. You can see that the list is longer. Soft skills nowadays become so important. Technical skills, yeah, you develop in your fields, you develop, you gain those experiences, but soft skills begin to add so much value to you. I'm looking for, way to communicate this thing. I have written papers, but there's a requirement that I need to translate it to popular science. Done that before. You've done it. Yeah, okay. You're adding value. Soft skills are the skills you develop. They are arts on. Okay. Many of them do not come with your computer when you buy them. They're arts on. You get them yourself. You learn them. You cultivate them. You chase them. The problem many of us have is that we're too lazy to get them, but they can define some moments for you in your skill, in your career. I had an experience sometime when I was coming to this country, and we've gone for the interview, and it was left with two of us. And I didn't know this because They promised to come back to us in 4 weeks. 4 weeks down to 6 weeks and counting. They have not applied to know whether you're choosing or not. It was when I started my job, I was told what was happening. That the committee that interviewed us was tied, meaning that half thought I should be given the position, other half thought the other person should be given the position. And so they needed to break this tie. So they needed to look for something. They needed to look for, they have to find something. You understand what I mean? Yeah. For many of those occasions, the soft skills will either bring you in, kick you out. Well, you may say, well, it's not often that this happens, but this is a structure you need to add to your career. And then structures of principles, fundamental truth or beliefs that guide your actions and decisions. Many of us have no principles in life. Whatever goes, okay? Whatever goes. No. You can understand what is happening now in the US. Elon Musk and Trump, they are fighting. Okay? It's not more than it's not close to 1 year when these two were they were like the newest bride and bridegroom, the newest couple in town. All right, the newest couple in town. But you know what? When people lack principles, sooner or later, they end up in that way. And they're like chameleon, they change colors every time. Beliefs that guide your actions and decisions, that is where you stand. They shape your behavior and serve as moral compass for you. Basis for building a meaningful and fulfilling career. In this part of the world, I'm not sure what happens in some. One of the things that if you apply for position and they ask you, put references. Many times when they send me those references, one of the questions they ask, if you are in a position, would you employ this person again? Some, it would be a big no. In fact, in capital letter, N-O, no. One of those that causes is attitude and principles. All right. So these were some of the things we covered last week. And principles I mentioned add value. It's true that no one is indispensable, but things aren't just right when some people are not around. All right. Yeah, no one is indispensable. So don't think that, oh, you are there. Yeah, the company is paying you, or the wherever you're working. Yeah. Watch your back. Be careful. Don't think you have landed. Do the first one continuously. Keep to add value. Because what may be keeping you here may be that they have not found a replacement. Maybe they have not found. And when they get it, they are very happy to tell you bye-bye. Because no one is indispensable. Be open. Secrecy is small-mindedness. I tell young researchers, well, why not you? I'm young anyway. But those coming behind me, I give them some of this advice. Because I have carried the bags of some guys who are top there, and I can see there's one factor that actually differentiates them: openness. I'm not saying you should not keep secret, but when you are open, people know how to fill it in. People know how to guide you. But when you begin to behave like every other person is foolish, and or it can deny you a lot. All right, it can deny you a lot. Sometimes people may have solution to your issue, but they don't give it to you because you are who you are. Yeah, you understand? Handle your fears. What are your fears? Always be humble. Be both in and interdependent. So be independent, but the greatest element is interdependent. When we can work together, be consistent in your attitude, in your motivation, in your ambition. All right, this will increase your productivity and will foster trust. Endure today's pain to have tomorrow's gain. I mentioned it. The foundation of staying long enough in the wilderness. Some of us are quick. You just finish your PhD. They are looking for associate professor somewhere. You apply. You have not done your postdoc, or take it easy to build something strong for yourself. Work hard and be dedicated to them. Endure the tough times. It will pay off tomorrow. When I started my career, I discovered that, if you say you want to make money no, it takes years for you as an academia to get there, where you will sit down and then you'll be consulted. It takes years when the money begins to flow. In fact, it's a time when you're getting closer, getting closer to exit the system. Yeah, that is the academic career. But if you're in other fields, industry, somebody you started with, you're finished by the time you're finishing your PhD, they are big guys. Yeah. So that is what we have chosen, and we have to remain in it. So enjoy the pains of today, and then you get to a place where tomorrow becomes a joy for you. Career versus other lives. Mm-hmm. Some of us think that all there is to build, make career, study, read. No, there are other lives you need to live. Okay? There are other lives you need to live. Family life, friendship. If you have a spiritual life, social life, go and do exercise. Yeah. Try to live other lives because it balances who you are. In fact, if you're careful with the way you live your life, you discover that some of the inspirations, some of the motivations, some of the leeways you have in your careers come from other lives you live. Embrace ignorance and understand failure. Pay attention both to the little and big things. Yeah, pay attention both to the little and big things. This is very, very important and crucial. Okay, so from structures to fruits. The structures, if you erect, will determine the fruit you get, will determine your career productivity, will determine what happens tomorrow. And there are many expectations in academic career, right? So the structures you build today will determine all those. Yes. So you have to do this carefully. All right. This is actually 30 minutes. I don't know why I don't put the minutes. Maybe I put it so that you be clear. about it. So I will give you 30 minutes. Okay? And that 30 minutes, I want you to look at these things we have talked about. What is the state of your career structure? Where are you? Right? How do you evaluate your experience? Do you think where you are, your career level is commensurate with the experience you have? What is your attitude like? All right? Do you have enough positive attitude? Or you have the attitude, I can't do it, I'm tired. Your skills, soft skills, your technical skills or hard skills, your principles, what are they like? Okay, and then you go to number 2. My career structures are solid. My career structures are weak. Maybe there's moderate or in between. Which career structures are you solid at? Yeah. In experience, in attitudes, in skills, in principles. You have to be specific, okay? Which career structures are you weak with or at? And then finally, where do you need support? What type of support do you need? Yeah, 30 minutes to discuss this. Then when we come back, we'll get feedback from you. You can appoint somebody to bring your issues. Okay, so I'm forming 4 groups. All right. So please have a robust discussion so that we can come and make a beautiful discussion with you. And put your questions down that you would like to ask here too. Okay, the room is open now. It's automatically assigned. If you, for any reason, fall out of the connection, when you come, just type on the chat box, room number 1, room number 2, room number 3, so we can send you back to your room there. Otherwise, we don't know, and then we just send you to any room. So just do that. When you fall out and you join, let us know which room you belonged, then we can send you there. Have a good discussion. All right, welcome back, everyone. I think we had just 3 groups. I'm not sure why group 4 didn't meet. But I hope you have had a good time together. So I will invite the groups to tell us what has happened in their group. What has happened in their group? Okay. So group number 1, let's see who is representing group number 1. Group number 1. Who is representing group number 1? John. Yeah, you can unmute yourself now and speak.
Thank you, sir. I'm representing group number 1, and we were 6 in the group, and I think about 3 precisely were or 4, let me say 4 of us And this is our conclusion in terms of is a career structure. Yes, there is a career structure. Is the career structure solid or weak? Majority weak. Some are neither weak nor strong, but majority weak. And looking at our weak career structure, we were examining which area, what are the things that makes the career structure weak. From the outline given, is it experience, attitude, skills, or the principles? We realize that experience is one of the factors that makes the career structures weak. Two, principles are some of the common things that make our career structures weak. And then we were looking at the support we need so that we can move from being weak, from that career can move from being weak to solid. That's why we make reference to what ASFI have been doing over the years, particularly the current ongoing collaborative research group, the need for mentorship. Like a few of us, we established that we lack that in our various institutions of learning. Like me, I'm of University of Calabar, Nigeria, and as a lecturer, currently trying to move into lecturer 1, lecturer 2, but we observed that within the department, statistics where math statistics where I function, there are no people ahead of us, no professors that are ahead of us that are into research, that have formed an existing research group whereby we can learn from them. We underscore the fact that being able to write proposals and win grant, because if you do research with your own minimal resources, it will be hectic on you and challenging, and you will not be able to cope. We underscore the fact that because of most times when we put in application for grant, join grant challenge, and you did not crop in a principal investigator with a good profile, and you are just starting up, and then you do not have someone who mentor you properly for your proposal to be so so attractive and appealing to the organization or the body awarding. Challenges of such limit access to funding, and the general national apathy towards research, as in with Nigeria government precisely, where as a young lecturer, a researcher, everything is from your own ending, your laptop, your data, everything, everywhere, even power supply is a challenge. So we say that increase in mentorship program will help us have experience, gain experience, will help us build good principles, and that will help us utilize our skills, our skills, our soft skills, so that we can move from weak research structure to a formidable, solid research structures that we will be able to create a reasonable effect in providing solutions to societal problems. That's the summary of report from Group 1.
Okay, thank you very much for that, group number 1. I think one of the things I mentioned in the principles one of the things I mentioned in the principles is being open. Being open, be open. And I think group number 1 has highlighted the fact you can put flowers around where you are, but you were emphatic that most of you perceive that you have weak structure and that you need that support. It is very important what you have mentioned, and I have to also point out, you see what is here, be consistent. Be consistent. One thing is that even in the platform we have set here in SFI, it is not just being in SFI that makes a difference in your career. It is not just jumping on the ship of the collaborative research groups and then you do it for a few months or 1 year even. It is being consistent over time that makes a difference. Many people don't understand that. Many times we are so much carried away and interested in the you see, I mentioned the last one, pay attention both to the little and big things. Temporary gains, and then when you have exhausted the temporary gains, then you come back again and then you start crying again. Some people started with SFI, they drop out of the way, and I think it was last year when we have launched our journal. One of them came and said, wow, 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 wow. And the person I think the person was with us maybe for 2 years or so, or 1.5 years, and the person left due to, people have different issues, busy here and there. So this person, when the person saw it, said, wow, oh, I have missed a lot. I'm coming back because this is my place. Being consistent, and that is what SFI has also shown. Because when we started, I had conversation with somebody, and the person was asking me, "Are you able? Do you think you will be able to stay here and last here? Are you able to do that? Don't you know they are big players?" But consistency makes a difference, even at the individual career level. And this consistency can actually come with some pains. Yes, they can come with some pains that many times those pains are temporary. What is ahead becomes bigger. So yes, I think many of us, well, will I say many of you, do not have excuses these days. And even though your institutions perhaps may not have the culture of the kind of things we provide in ASFI, career opportunities, collaboration opportunities, mentoring opportunities, but you have a place now. What you make of it can be what makes a difference. All right, so thank you for that. Group number 1 for sharing your thoughts. And it appears to me that you already know what you need to have a solid career. Yeah, who is presenting group number 2? Group number 2. Who is presenting group number 2? Group number 2, you have to come up, please. Don't waste our time. Who is presenting group number 2? At least I knew that group number 2 was discussing. You met and you discussed. Okay. Group number 2 doesn't want to share this thing. Let's go to group number 3. I see a name. I see 2 hands there. Chinaza, are you group number 3 or group number 2?
Group number 3, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Okay, we met in our group. We're about 6 of us, and the summary of our discussion is that we're the state of our career structure. We're saying that we can't really say that the state of our career structure is solid because as we discussed, we found out most of us, just a few of us, have their PhDs already. Some of us are still on the journey, while some are yet to do a PhD. And we said, you told us that getting a PhD is not even arriving, that it's just the foundation of the career. So that having known that, that means most of us are just starting. But the important thing is we said that at least we are in the right trajectory. And joining ASFI has made us to, whatever it is we are doing, laying our foundations, we are intentional about it and doing it well, based on the things we've been hearing here. So we said we don't know whether we can say it is very strong or weak. We actually termed it semi-solid, that our structure is semi-solid, but our foundation is good, so to speak. Now, we said that in areas that we are solid are areas like principle and attitude. We are solid in these areas, but we have our weaknesses where in terms of experience, in terms of development of soft skills, in terms of skills like data analysis. Most of us say that we are weak in that area, in data analysis, in writing articles for publication in good papers, just as we've been taught here that not to write in some kind of journals. So we said we have weaknesses in those areas and branch writing and all that. So what do we need? Prof, we said we need capacity building in these areas. We need to grow and develop our skills. We need mentorship. And a lot of us expressed gratitude to ASFI for what we are doing, but we're discussing about having mentorship in specific areas of our career. Like someone said in public health, he needs a mentor in public health. Another person in education. We need mentorship in these specific areas, and also mentorship in how to create visibility, how to grow in this career, how to do research and do it well. That is the areas that we need support and help. That's just the summary, especially mentorship. That's the summary of what we discussed today in group 3.
All right, thank you for the report from group number 3. Yeah, all you have said actually, I mean, your case is very easy, very, very easy. Why? Because all the things you have mentioned, there are solutions within ASFI. But you started by using the term intentional. Yeah. You took that word out of my mouth, intentional. I had a PhD student who defended 2 days ago. His PhD defense was really excellent. He's a very smart guy. Smart. And you have old hands also in the system. Personally, as an African, I know the journey I've taken to come to the point where I am today. Well, I give God all the glory because without God helping me, it's not that easy. Okay? It's not that easy. But one thing that really helps you is being intentional. Be intentional. And so this guy, when he finished, sometimes you are carried away by the frenzy of what you do. You can see that I have mentioned several things. And these things I've mentioned here are very intentional, very, very intentional. Experience. It is not something you choose. I choose this one. No. Experience, attitudes, skills, principle. They all have to be in place. They make you a whole person. If you have skills, you don't have good attitudes, all right? You do not have the experience required for what you need to do. You do not have principles that will not take you anywhere. If you have principles, you do not have skills, you do not have good attitudes, you do not have positive attitude, you do not have experience. They will even change your name to principled man, principled woman, whatever, principal researcher. But the fact is that you need to be intentional to acquire these things. Okay, so with the experience I've generated, I already one other PhD student yesterday, he had is what we call half-time in Sweden here. After the second year of your PhD, you need to defend what you have done before, up to that time. And then the university will appoint a committee that will assess whether you have made good progress. Can they allow you to move? Is there any potential that you may not complete within time or anything that they need to look into? So when I am not the main supervisor, I'm the co-supervisor. So when he finished, we were coming and on the corridor, I was asking him, you have 2 years to go. We thought about postdoc. He said, no, I've not. I said, no. He said, maybe I'm thinking about maybe from next year. I said, no. Now. It is now. It is now. Because by the time you enter next year, preparing your thesis takes 9 to 12 months. Okay? And your head will be hot then. Now, you begin to think about it. So this is my PhD who finished 2 days ago. I had such sessions because I always have these sessions with them. I know that many of the things of experiences I've generated was try and error. I didn't have so much opportunity of somebody telling me, there's a strategy you need to use. There's a strategy you need to plan. You need to be intentional about certain things. No, nobody. I just struggle with certain things myself. And that is why I like to catch them young. Where are you going? And it is not a matter of being smart alone. Principles are required, attitudes are required, experiences are required, the skills are required. And so I had that session with his students who finished 2 days ago. And close to the ending, I thought he was understanding me, but close to the ending, he made a choice, and that choice was really weird to me. What next he was going to do, that choice was weird. So wow, anyway, that is his choice. I wouldn't interfere with that. But my dad used to tell me in those days, when he would want to teach me, he said that a man had 3 sons. I called them. He said, this one, how many times will something happen to you and you learned, that day, I think maybe two or three times. Then I will, okay. You uncle. Maybe one time. And then the last one said, Daddy, well, if I don't want it to happen to me. If I see somebody has happened to, I will learn from the person. But anyway, sometimes it is good to allow people to experience certain things, and then they can find their way out. Because certain lessons you learn in life come from some pains you get. But it's important to be intentional. And several of the things you have mentioned, you want to learn how to write a good paper. You want to learn how to write competitive grants. You want to learn how to do data analysis. Perhaps you want to learn how to become a good scientific leader. You want to learn how to become a good supervisor. I'm not sure there are so many options you have than what SFI is giving to you. I'm not sure. And then you mentioned finally mentorship. My goodness, we have it. We have all those. And if you are an SFI member, if you have missed that opportunity to be mentored, we have cohort of mentees we are carrying on. One started last year, and in April, they had 1 year of that follow-up. And I was asking them, do we end here? And in unison, they said, no, we want to carry on. And I tell you, during this 1 year, we have not produced a solid outcome. We say, okay, we have published a paper. No. You see, there's a process we have taken gradually. And I can hear somebody saying, the process has been slow, but I've learned a lot. I found myself, I used to be impatient. I want it to be done. But this process we have gone through this year has really taught me to be patient. And somebody is saying, my goodness, I have learned to be meticulous. I've learned to develop good attitudes. Okay? Those are the things you get from the mentor. We have a new cohort now. We started last month. I think we have had maybe 5 meetings or so. We meet every week. There is still chance. If you want to join, please contact Dr. Ajibola. I'm not sure if she's here. Yeah, she's here. Contact her. I will take you in if you want to join, but you need to be an SFI member to do that, because that is an exclusive program for SFI members. And one thing with mentoring is not primarily discipline or subject specific. Mentoring is support for career development. You may even have an engineer mentoring you, a public health person, because mentoring helps you to develop skills that will make you to move in your career. Not necessarily the person will help you to teach you how to maybe do your public health or do your nutrition. No. Those are not mentoring is developing strategies for career development. Okay? So sometimes people equate mentoring to supervision. Supervision is more subject specific. Mentoring is taking a holistic big picture of guiding you towards. So the point I'm making here is the issues group number 2 has raised. You need to be intentional about it. You need to be intentional about, if you're following SFI, the benefit comes with. We are not doing sandwich thing. We are doing a holistic, transformational thing, very intentional. And your results come when you have followed us along the way. Do it for a long time. If you see some of the papers we have published recently, some of those papers have come from output from our courses. For instance, you have the art of scientific writing. Those papers were projects those groups undertook during that. They have an output. They have added to their career output. They have developed skills of how to formulate a question, obtain the data, analyze the data, interpret the data, then write a scientific program. There's not much you can do. If you go to Harvard and learn scientific writing, rarely will they take you through these processes. Okay, you have it in SFI, and so for everyone who is here today, we have different things that are going on. If you miss out, you have to blame yourself. Well, I hope we're all on the same page on that. Okay, let's get group number 3. It was Adelayo Adeoye. Adelayo, you can speak. You can unmute yourself now and speak. You needed to raise your hand first, and then I can recognize you and give you permission to unmute yourself. But you didn't do that. Maybe you didn't know where to press your hand. But now go ahead and tell us what group number 2 discuss.
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. I didn't know I have to raise hand before being allowed to talk. I'm Adeoye Adelayo. So from our discussion, we dwelled on being solid or weak career structure. So in fact, one of us even said that she has been building this career structure for the past 15 years, and she has she's already have a strong one. While many of us we had weak career structure, and we also look at the areas where we are weak. And talking about the experience, many of us we contributed that we are weak in terms of experience, in terms of exposure, we are weak. Like I myself, like what I said, in terms of exposure to some analytical tools which are necessary in my field, but due to the supervisor I am, I'm not able to do so. I'm able to use some analytical tools.
Yeah, the person presenting for group number 2 has just fallen out from the Zoom. Is there anyone else who can continue from that? From where she stopped for group number 2? Oh, it was actually group number 2 I was chatting before. Nobody raised their hand. Okay. Sharon, Osman, Sheikh, Ali, and
Yes, thank you, Prof. I can continue. I get from group 2. I think one of our groups I mentioned, I think something related to the soft skills, the collaboration and the network. And some of us just, they said they need a mentorship. That's an institution they have the tools and everything, but in doing the things, they need someone to direct them, to lead them how to do the things in the right way. So there is some challenges about soft skills and mentorship. Thank you, Prof.
All right. So your problems seem to be similar to group number 3. And then it's easier because the suggestions I've given are there. Can you imagine? Last week, we had 1 hour workshop on career structures. This week, we have 2 hours. Every month on Sundays, last Sundays of every month, we have 2 hours. I mean, that is the hours of meeting, excluding the hours to prepare the presentation. All of these things are free free, put them on the YouTube free. You see what we're having to, if I had these opportunities when I was doing my program, oh, maybe I would have been better than today. You never know. But the point here is you have the opportunities in your hand. Many of the things you have struggled before, they are in your hand. All right? And I can see that Kegne Herve is so tired, isn't it? So, but yes, you need to take those opportunities you have. You have them in your hands. You have them in your hands. I am very happy. I am very happy with what is happening in SFI. It's not everybody. There are many of you who are taking this opportunity with your two hands, working with them, and then you can see the development that comes with that commitment, consistent commitment. It's obvious. And I hope that everyone can be in that situation. The career structures are important. Having a solid foundation is important, but also having a solid career structure is important. Our next edition is going to talk about some of the things many of us do first. Some of the things many of us do first. And that is the reason we have bad structures, weak structure. Because when we, let me open it. Yeah, we are talking about the roof next edition. And the roof is your shelter. The roof is your protection, your career protection, your career shell. That is what the roof is. And if I ask you what the roofs are, let me take you here. You see, the roof are this. I will come back to that. The fruits. These are the things that sustain you. But many of us, you talk about the publication, you talk about the grant, you talk about the other experiences we're going to be talking about. It's your shelter, your protection in your career. The problem many people have is that they build their house and they want to start with the roof. Okay? But the roof cannot stand on its own. The roof needs a foundation. The roof needs a structure to stand on. It's impossible. Even if you succeed in putting up the roof without a good structure, sooner or later it will fall. It won't sustain. So one of the problems people have is, I want to publish this, I want to get this grant, but you do not have you don't have a solid foundation. You do not have a good structure to do that. You see, this roof we're talking about here also requires consistency. You need to maintain it. You need to be consistent about it. One of my supervisees was meeting maybe last week or so. He was asking me, he said he's following me. I don't know, maybe a ResearchGate. He said, I don't understand how you every month you have at least 2 papers that come out you publish. I said, oh, are you counting that? Yeah. And you're busy here and there. And I was telling him, it's very easy if you build a solid structure. If you build a solid structure, many of the shelter will be there. It will be coming out. Some of them without you making so much effort. That is what keeps you. That is what the university is counting on. Those outputs, those are your roof, your shelter, your protection. but to maintain them, to get them, you need a good structure. So our 4th edition will be talking about the roof, and I hope you will not miss it. The other thing I want to mention is this, please. What we are doing here, don't eat alone. Don't eat alone. All right? Don't eat. Yes, Adela, one of your group members took your place and completed your journey. So we are finished with you. Don't eat alone. Invite your colleagues. Like what you're having here today, you don't need to pay. Many Africans are so, well, let me not talk myself, I'm talking. You go in Nigeria, you go to Chicken Republic, but this is free. This one is free. It's free for you. Today's one is free. Don't eat alone. Just hold somebody by the hand. Let's go. It's free. That's something you will learn. We want saturated experience. We want saturated knowledge that will eventually begin to have impact in how Africa is working. If in your institution, people begin to think alike in an excellent way like you see that things begin to change, the atmosphere begin to change. So please join the 4th edition. The SFI General Assembly program, SFIT time, is coming next Friday. It's also free. The 4th edition, Beyond Academia, from collaboration to commercialization, way forward for African scientists. This is quite important because our research needs to make impact. And much of the impact it needs to make will go beyond the academia. So please, it's I think it could be a fantastic discussion next Friday. Please join. You have to register and then join. And then the 6th edition of the monthly seminar series is the fruits of research collaboration. What are the fruits? So 29th of June, that is this month, last Sunday of this month, please join us as we, that will be the last session of the theoretical side. From July, we have lined up fantastic individuals who will come to tell us the story of their collaboration. We'll tell you more about that on the 29th of June. So prepare yourself. It is all also free. Okay? So you don't say, well, it's because it's not even the ones that we charge in SFI. None of them is expensive. They are as little as, I don't know, the Tinubu, it's called T-Pen or this thing, the cost of things has become so high that what you pay for SFI cost, it will not be enough for Chicken Republic. All right, so this is the advert. Yeah, this is the big one now. This is big one. This is the big one. It has been a journey. It has been a journey. 5 years. ISFI 5 years. We have taken this journey. So we have fixed a date that we want to pause and look back of this journey. So this is inviting you to SFI 50th anniversary. This will be happening 14th of July, 2 p.m. GMT prompt. You need to register. The deadline of it. In fact, this is limited. But register if you're going to come. If you're not going to come, please. There will be lots of things. The SFI story. What is it? There will be keynotes. There will be testimonials. There will be the committee call it virtual gala dinner. Rewards and awards, cultural performances, the milestones. And then, of course, they have this one they call the Prof. Nwaru'S interview. So please, we invite you, take the link and register. We want to make it a memorable experience, a memorable evening. So join us. I will keep reminding you about this. And then those who are interested in upgrading their data analysis skills, you have the opportunity. It is here. It's being advertised. For SFI members, it's quite cheap for you. So try to struggle it out to be in this course. It will help you. It will help you. And after this course, we'll have opportunity for you to fine-tune the skills you have learned from. And then those who want to get money, yeah, this is important. That you know how to write a scientific paper doesn't mean that you know how to write a grant application. No, doesn't mean that. And this course has brought several testimonials, really. Somebody through this course, after struggling many years for the, what's it called? World Science Academy or something like that, postdoc grant, couldn't do it. But after this course, we gave her support and she got it. So this course will help you a lot. And of course, SFI research journal is open for continuous paper submission. So please bring it up and we will be happy to publish your work. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Time is gone. Sorry, taking 4 minutes of your time, but I hope that you have been able to pick one thing, at least one thing from here today. Building a structure can be painful, but there is always gain at the end. You'll be joyful that you did it. All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. For those I see tomorrow, I see you tomorrow. And those I see next week, I see you next week. Let me see. All right. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Good day, everyone.
Yeah, bye. Happy holiday.